Oh, let's see what we can do. Ooh. Oh. Oh no. Was this the boss right here? Yo! So today, guys, we're going to be showing you guys a build that I think a lot of you guys are going to enjoy. You might as well enjoy it while you can, because obviously we know that one talent on this build will be changing in who knows how soon. 17.2, we don't know when that's coming, but overall this build takes advantage of rifles. So we know we've done pistol builds in the past, we know we've done sniper builds in the past, but we've never done a rifle build on this, that we don't have to use that scope that zooms you all the way in to give you that 45% extra headshot damage, right? So with this build, you don't need to. It's not even like you have an option to, because with the weapon we're using, we can only use one attachment. And what I love about it, it still does everything. It does everything that you want the build to do. Now, I will tell you, even if you don't have the gear set procced, as you've seen in here, you're still able to one-shot most enemies. Now, when you get those named enemies, well, that will be a different story, and that's why you want to try to have the gear set procced. If you guys haven't noticed what gear set it is just yet, well, we'll be showing you guys that right now. So let's dive into it and let's talk about what build I am using. And I'm missing those shots. There we go. So you might have guessed it, we are running the sharpshooter specialization, not only for the TAC 50, but this specialization just works great with rifles and marksman rifles. And for the weapon, we're using the 1886. And I want to admit, I've never really used this weapon besides this, because you can't put a scope on it, you can't put a muzzle on it. There's just not a lot you can actually do to this. So for me, there just wasn't really anything I ever wanted to use this for, but it does have a lot of base damage that's very strong. But on this build, with everything set up, we have 857,000 total damage, 5 rounds in the magazine. Now it has rifle damage, critical hit damage, and then I got one with damage to armor. If you can get one with damage to targets out of cover, either way will work, but you do need one of those because you need that multiplicative damage. Now I'll tell you, I was farming for a while, and to get one with damage to armor or damage to targets out of cover was very, very hard. I ended up getting one with damage to armor. The build worked the way I wanted, but I haven't been able to test it with damage to targets out of cover, so you can use either one, and I'm pretty sure it should work just fine. Now, for the talent, we decided to roll determined on there. So the reason why you want to make sure it has rifle damage, critical damage, damage to armor, and then obviously, or damage to targets out of cover, is because you want to make sure that you're able to roll the talent determined, and determined is what's going to allow you to constantly one-shot those enemies, right? And remember, when determined does change, you have to hit headshot, body shot, headshot. Right now, you hit headshot, body shot, body shot, body shot, body shot, as you guys are seeing in the gameplay. Now, for your secondary, you can run whatever you want. Let's get into the build. So we are running a tip of the spear 4-piece. What this does is it gives us 10% signature weapon damage. 10% weapon damage is what we really want, because it pairs great with all of our talents. And then the 4-piece, also dealing damage with a signature weapon, that's why you want the TAC 50, will increase weapon damage by 20% for 60 seconds. So for those 60 seconds, you have an additional 20% weapon damage. So that's from the 4-piece, you're technically getting 30% weapon damage, and that works great with Headhunter because the way the talent is worded. For the core attributes, we're running weapon damage, headshot damage, and then a headshot damage mod. Now for the chest piece, we're running the Chain Killer. Obviously, we're running a 2-piece Walker and Harris, so that's gonna give us 5% weapon damage, 5% damage to armor. So you can see in total right now we have 10% damage to armor. We could have 11% if we get that 1% more on the weapon itself. We have weapon damage on here, headshot damage, critical hit chance. Now, obviously you want to put critical hit chance on 2 spots you get. Reason why is because the weapon base has critical hit damage, and then we have headshot damage mod here. Now, if you don't want to run crit chance because you're not worried about hitting those crits, put weapon handling and you'll be okay there. And Chain Killer comes with perfect Headhunter. For our second piece of tip of the spear, we have the holster, and obviously we're going to be rolling weapon damage and headshot damage on all the pieces. Same thing with the knee pads. Another tip of the spear, we have weapon damage, headshot damage. We can increase the damage by 2.6%, so we can increase the weapon damage on this build still. We go through, you see for the gloves, another piece, our final 4th piece of tip of the spear, which unlocks the 4-piece, weapon damage, headshot damage. And then we have our second piece of Walker and Harris. This is going to give us that 2-piece unlock of 5% damage to armor. We have weapon damage on here, headshot damage, critical damage, headshot damage, and then we have vigilance. Remember, it increases total weapon damage by 25%, but when we do take damage, it disables this for 4 seconds. Now, I will tell you, if you happen to have the gear set active but not vigilance, you'll still be able to one-shot those enemies, and vice versa. Where you might not every time is if you take damage or you don't have that green gear set active, well, that's where those named enemies might not be one shot, but everybody else, so you guys seeing here, boom, boom. Oh, see, didn't have the green gear set, didn't have vigilant active, so reason why, but look, one shot him right here with the tag 50 in the head, and the other guy died immediately from the NPCs. So if you head over here, we take a look at our stats, right? We currently have 856,000 weapon damage. We have 16% crit chance, and that's why I say you can improve it if you switch that crit damage for crit chance. We have 68% crit damage. We have 190% headshot damage, and then look at the multiplicative damage of 10% armor damage. Now remember, if you have that 10% damage to targets out of cover, you'll have 5% armor damage, and you'll still be able, well, you should be able to still one-shot those enemies. Now the tip I'll give you is make sure you use attack 50, land that headshot. It's gonna proc chain killer. And all you have to do is hit a headshot, boom, and then just keep boom, boom, boom. Just look at the talents in sync, work together. Not really the talent in sync, but like they're in sync together, right? Hopefully you guys got that. So yeah, obviously you guys saw the build, and this does everything for you. As long as you know how to play this type of build, you keep track of when tip of the spear is active, when it's not, you'll be able to just do this and literally clear control points. You guys might have seen me doing, I was actually doing the manhunt, and I was playing with the sniper build, right? And we were using a sniper version of this, and that was just going through everything. But if you guys don't like having to scope in, well, this is a great alternative, to be honest. Just look at this. There's a sniper back there, and it's a boss. Boom, it's over. Boom, and the last one, boom. Tell me that isn't what you want to be able to do when you're playing a build. Feel powerful, and well, use it while you guys can, because we honestly don't know how long this will still be in the game. But why not have fun with it, enjoy it, create different builds, especially if you've been looking for different builds to play with. This is one of them. It's pretty easy to make. Tip of the spear is definitely a very easy build to put together. 4 pieces of tip of the spear, as you guys showed you, and 2 Walker and Harris pieces with chain killer, which most of you guys might have already. So the hardest part for this build is probably finding an 1886 with either damage targets out of cover or damage to armor, and then obviously making sure that it's not horribly rolled, but you should be fine. And then what you can do is roll determined on there, so hopefully you have that in your library. But yeah, that's all I would do, guys. This has definitely been a lot of fun, and as you guys seen, did you guys notice that I didn't even have my green gear set, and I was still almost one-shotting this boss. Obviously, if I would have had it, it would have been a wrap, but I didn't. So that's just something for you guys to keep in mind when you guys are playing with this build. So we're gonna wrap up the build here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this build breakdown, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, Nothing But Skills out. Take it easy, everybody.